Monaray, obviously a lot of energy last week in that comeback. Where was the energy lacking today?
I feel like the energy was there, but the execution wasn't, especially in the receiving room, and I can say that because I see it firsthand. We just didn't make the early plays that came to us, and I feel like that came back to hurt us because like we were moving the ball down the field, but we just couldn't finish. And I feel like it started in our room, and I can take accountability for that. So.
Monaray, you mentioned that you moving the ball, but when you guys get in the red zone, I think at some point you guys had 7 straight drives here at McLean Stadium in the red zone without a touchdown. What specifically is going wrong when you guys get to that area?
I feel like people are just waiting around, waiting for the next person to make the play, but that's not how we need to approach it. We need to treat every play like the touchdown play. Everybody needs to go their hardest. And I praise Blake this game because I feel like he played really hard, but I feel like the rest of the offense and the rest of the team didn't. So, I mean, I don't know what it's going to take, but we're going to have to start playing hard and giving our all every play. If you need a breather, you're going to get a breather, but you just got to give your all when you're in the game.
Monaray, talk about that long touchdown pass. Looked like you kind of bobbled it and kind of got it back in your hands. And then were you feeling then? I mean, because that got you within 2 scores there.
Can you
kind of did that kind of give you that feeling you were coming back again because it got you back within two scores?
I mean, it definitely gave us a spark because I don't feel like there was no point in this game where we were not in the game and we didn't have a chance to win. Like we scored how many points last game and it wasn't even that at that point. So I just feel like it gave us a spark that we needed, and at that point it wasn't too late. So we just gotta learn how to finish and keep going every game. We got to be consistent. I think that's the thing. We can do it one week, but we got to do it the next week because last week is over, and we found ourselves down 21 points or whatever it was, and we didn't finish. So we just got to learn how to be consistent.
Monaray, we'll make sure you said everyone has to start playing hard. You're 6 games into the season. Why would that be the case? Why would that not already be the case? Where's the momentum from last week? What's going on with this team?
People were sitting around waiting for their buddy to make the play when they need to make the play, that play. Like, you got to treat every play like that because you never know when your opportunity is going to come. You never know when the ball may pop out and you do the backside cutoff and you can pick it up. Like, it's just stuff like that, and people aren't doing that every play. We do it here and there, but it's not every play, and that's why I say we got to be consistent with it. With it being the 6th game of the season, I don't really know why, but I feel like people are just like here for the ride, and that's not what we're here for. We're here to win games, and people have to step up. People have to be leaders. People have to take accountability and just stuff like that. So it's just some growing up we have to do.
Monaray, what did you see from Tech's defense? They had 6 sacks. They held y'all to 17 yards of rushing. Did that look like a much more aggressive defense than what you saw last season?
I mean, not really. I mean, we knew what they were going to do, and we knew what we were going to be able to do. We just have to execute. Like, it was a lot of times where the play was there, but we just didn't execute to the best of our ability. So, I mean, I don't really know what to say. We're just going to have to figure it out. Like, we said in the locker room, don't give up, and we mean that. Don't give up because there's still a lot, like, at the end of the season that we can play for. So.
Monaray, as an offense, especially early when your defense is getting stops, but you guys just can't seem to roll that over into scores. What's the frustration level like on the sideline for you guys, and how do you deal with that throughout a game?
We try to keep the frustration, we try to keep it away. We try to keep all the negative energy away and just relax. And whatever play Coach Grimes wants to call, we try to go out there with the best of our ability and run that play and execute that play. But we just have to learn how to execute. If the play's not there, we got to learn how to make it work. And I feel like that's the one thing that we can get better at and we will get better at is just making every play work. And that's what we have to do.
Monaray, you've had to have some soul searching yourself this year. Coach Aranda's talked about it. You have too. Does this team need that as a team? Did you quit tonight as a team?
I don't think so. I would hope not. I mean, I can only see so much, but I know from the people I did see, we didn't quit. Like I said, Blake played his heart out. Blake was taking hits. He was running people over. And I can lose with somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? That when I see Blake going hard like that, it makes me want to go hard. So when everybody goes hard, then everybody goes hard. But we just have to stay together. Like, I don't know. I really don't know. Thank you.
Devyn, Baron Morton had a pretty good night. He looked really sharp. What did you see from him? He had struggled against y'all last year and struggled some this year. What did you see from their quarterback?
I would say that he was quick by getting the ball out fast. You know, he wasn't holding in the pocket, and he was able to get it out quick. So we couldn't really get to him all night. So that's pretty much what he did well.
Devyn, Monaray talked about guys just needing to play hard every play. Is that something you see as well?
I'll say, yeah. You know, we got to learn how to overcome adversity. When things don't go our way, we got to learn how to bounce back and keep fighting throughout the down.
Kevin, what's just kind of the message in the locker room right now? You know, is there a sense of guys being accountable for what happened out there?
I say the message would be that we have to, how are we going to respond? Like, what are we going to do to make sure that we have a successful, because you know we have a bye week. What we're going to do to make sure we have a successful week and get ready for our next opponent. So the message is saying how we're going to respond as a team. Like, we can't let down just because we lost. You know, everybody hate losing, but we just got to keep going. We got some football left. We got to keep fighting through.
A lot of tough losses, but you talk about a much-needed bye week. What can y'all do to maybe, you know, get yourselves together before heading into the game after?
I would say, you know, we have a lot of injured guys, so try our best to get healthy and watch more film and just practice harder, and just we got to learn how to execute more, and we'll be fine.
Devyn, last week you guys had that huge comeback against UCF in the fourth quarter. It seemed like you guys had that positive momentum going into the week, and then you guys find yourself down multiple scores early on in this game. What caused that slow start to where you guys weren't able to carry that momentum into this contest?
Honestly, I don't know. Honestly, I don't. You know, we had great energy, had a great week of practice, and you know, when we got out there, it was kind of a slow start. So I feel like we kind of picked it up throughout the game. But to answer your question, I honestly don't know why we had a slow start coming off a great week of practice.
It's good to see you guys. Way disappointed with tonight, and just really felt coming off of last week and just the week that we had of practice. Was very energetic and very positive, and just felt a swagger on offense, and just was not seeing this outcome, and so just very disappointed. Am still hopeful and still believing in the team. And that was the message that we just had in our break, in our prayer, was that to continue to believe in the team and stay together. And you know, after the breakup of that, you could see the Monaray Baldwins and the leaders of the team really coalesce and work around it. And so, with the bye coming up after this, there'll be a lot of opportunity to kind of reflect and see and, you know, heal and improve. And so we're certainly aiming to do that. There is a lot of improving to do. Take any questions you guys have.
Good to see you again, Dave. Like you said, you had that great rally last week. Why do you feel like that momentum didn't carry over to the start of this game?
Appreciate that. We have to play complementary football, and it just feels it gets to a certain point, particularly offensively, to where there's maybe the pressure is lessened because of the score, and we're having guys that are playing free at that point, and that's just not how it goes, you know. We've got to be able to start faster and be able to execute, you know, at the start of a game and when it matters most, and all of it. And I think that is a thing that we've got to be able to get fixed. I'm proud of the defense, of how they played and competed. I thought for 3 quarters we played well. And, you know, when you look at the stat lines, you look at the yards rushing, you look at the sacks, and you look at the 1 for 6 on 4th downs, and I think those tell the story. And, you know, defensively, for us to continue to get better and stay focused on that, and then offensively, for us to focus in on the run game, on things that we can do in the run game, and really minimize some of the other things that are getting in the way of us running the ball, is of utmost importance, and we're aiming to do that.
Coach, you and the players always talk about how you have such strong practices, but unfortunately y'all aren't getting the results that y'all are getting. Can you talk about if that's maybe affecting morale, that despite having such strong practices, it's not turning into wins?
Appreciate that. Yeah, you know, you'd like to, throughout the week, believe and think that the work that you're doing is flowing into the end of the week. And, you know, I thought there's pieces of that. I thought for this one, I thought defensively there's a lot of positive. I thought special teams, there were some positive things. You know, offensively particularly, we have to be able to start faster. And, you know, throughout the week we talked about winning the first quarter and taking a play at a time and a drive at a time. And I think we have to be able to revisit all of that and really kind of look at what we're asking everybody to do and really focus in on things that we can do well, that this particular team and this particular state that we can accomplish, particularly in the run game, with as much as our offense is based off of it. When you have the limited number of rushing yards that we have, it's hard to have success.
Coach, you spoke about Monaray by name in terms of being one of the leaders. When we talked to him, I'm assuming it's based more on the offense. He mentioned guys still needing to play hard every play and that being an issue. Why at this point in the season is that still an issue that's being identified by players?
Appreciate that. Yeah, I think at the end of the game, I think when the score is what it is, I think that Monaray is one of our strongest guys at playing hard no matter what. And I think to have guys not look at the scoreboard, to have guys not say, oh, here we go again, and all of it is always a fight. And I thought that we were able to finish strong offensively, that there was effort there. I didn't feel like there was any quit. But you know, we can always do better in that department, and we're always looking to. I think the same can be said defensively. I think the first 3 quarters were really strong, and by the time the offense kind of gets something figured out, the defense is on exhaust fumes. And so for all of us to play together is something that we're still searching to do.
Dave, what'd you make of those first 2 4th down attempts on offense? Because they just didn't really seem like they had much of a chance.
Yeah, appreciate that. And I agree. I see the same things you see. You know, where there's a guy out in the flat and there's coverage sitting right there, and you know there's hands in the face of the quarterback, and you know he can't get throws off and that. And so I think we're going to have to revisit that and find ways that we can, you know, if there's an expectation or a thought that something's going this way, we can change it up and find another way of getting it done.
Dave, you mentioned Tech had 6 sacks. You guys had 17 yards rushing. Blake's running for his life a lot of the time. Is this offensive line good enough? Are they tough enough?
Appreciate that. Yeah, I believe that they've shown that they can block people and they can pass block and they can make communication and make adjustments within the game. We have to do that consistently, and we've got to do it when it matters most. And tonight we did not do that. I've seen them do it. We need to do it more.
Dave, by the time you play your next home game, it will have been over a year since you beat an FBS program. Is that hard to fathom? I'm talking about at home.
Right.
With Kansas last year.
Yes. No, I appreciate that. You know, we're working on just with this particular team, trying to improve and be the best that we can. I appreciate the question. I think those are things that I think if we can get this team figured out and get our work ethic, you know, to continue to push to improve and get the execution better on the field, I believe that will take care of itself. Okay, thank you guys.